Hello, everyone. Welcome to William in the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Blair. Blair is from Houston, in Texas, in the USA. So let's see what Blair has to say. Enjoy the interview. So, hello, Blair. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Very well. Thanks so much for taking the time today for the interview. Thank you.
Hey, no problem. It sounded fun.
So, tell me, how's your day going so far?
Not too bad. It's almost over. I start early and I get off midday. Um, I work for an engineering company, so I deal with a lot of hot-headed people.
Oh, for sure.
I'm one too, but that's a different part of it.
Tell me where you're from, Blair.
I live in Houston, Texas. Um, I've been here in Texas over half my life.
Right.
This particular stint has been 20 years, coming up in about 2 months. Before that, it was 10 plus years until 2000 when I moved back to Northern California. So,
I see. And so California is the place where you're born and raised.
yes, it is.
I see.
Yeah.
And all your family are back in California or not?
Um, my sisters live there. I've got cousins. My two daughters and my grandson are there, and my son and his family currently are in Salt Lake City, and will be moving to Wisconsin here shortly. So they'll be closer.
And why Texas?
Um, I work in the oil and gas industry,
Mhm.
and that's pretty much it. I originally came here in the nuclear industry because they had a nuclear power plant they were building. And that was how I got transferred over. But I transitioned over to working oil and gas about 27 years ago. So,
Wow,
yeah.
amazing.
And I've been all over the world with it. I mean, I can't complain. It's been good.
Tell me, what's the biggest joy of waking up in Houston every single morning?
Well, I wouldn't say joy. Probably biggest question: is it going to rain today? Houston has a 20% chance of rain every single friggin' day. You know,
Wow.
and it basically means 20% of y'all is going to get asses wet.
I live in London, and we might have the same as well, the same forecast.
Yeah, but what you never had over there was the heat and the humidity to go with it.
That's for sure.
Last summer we had 108 degrees for the temperature, which I don't remember the sea, and the heat index was 130.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I've lived in the desert. Ain't like that.
Okay, Blair. So during the interview, I'm going to explore a little bit more about your life and also about your journey so far. Okay?
Okay.
But before we start our journey within the magic box, I would like you to tell me something interesting about yourself, or maybe something that not many people know about you.
Um, Most of the people here know, but for the most part, currently I am basically a chairman for a fundraising organization here in Houston. Um, we raise money for we're raising money for the LGBTQ plus community here, and we've been doing it as an organization for 40 years. So I'm the 40th person or elected individual to take it, and I do have a counterpart, so it's co-presidency. But yeah.
Wow. So tell me a little bit more about the organization. What's the idea behind?
The organization basically is it started out in San Francisco 60 plus years ago by a drag queen that went by the name the Widow Norton. Jose Sara was his name. And he started the organization, and it came into more prevalence at the beginning of the AIDS crisis. So you had at the beginning a lot of drag performers out there raising money to help the people in the Houston community who are being affected by HIV and AIDS. And we still do that from time to time. It's evolved. It's not the crisis it was in the 80s or the 90s. It's still prevalent, but there are other issues facing us now. So, for example, this year, we have two charities we focus on. The first one is a transgender wellness program, because because here in Texas and in the United States, there's a lot of people attacking the trans community, and so this group that we're raising money for helps people who are in transition find the necessary resources. The other one is a mental health group that supports primarily the issues surrounding the LGBT community, because the other thing you notice when you read social media here in the States is PTSD is running rampant. So we're trying to raise as much for the next year as we can to support these two charities. And then next year we have another election and two more people will step up and choose their charities.
Wow, amazing. Yeah. Blair, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
Okay.
Amazing. Welcome to William in the Magic Box.
All right.
So you're my best friend. Love random fun questions. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to play a song just for us to relax before the first question. Okay?
Okay.
Let's do it. Okay, so before you start the game, during the journey, if it comes up a question that you don't want to answer, don't want to talk about, always can change. Okay?
Okay.
Amazing. First question for you is, what are the top 3 things on your bucket list?
Ooh, okay. I've almost already done them. The top 3 things on my bucket list right now is a trip to Portugal for my husband. I promised him I'd go there. The other things are bucket list wise, because most of it's in Europe. I want to go back to Scotland. I would say it was because to get my kilt made in Scotland, but I already did that. So that bucket list is not done. The other one is retirement.
Right.
I want to be able to sit back and enjoy not doing anything or doing just what I want. Travel being part of it. So yeah, that's my top 3 things.
What do you think? Which one is going to happen the first between 3 of them?
It's a toss-up between Portugal and Scotland. And the reason for that is we were going to go back to Scotland was the beginning of before the pandemic hit. And everything had been booked. Everything was ready to go. We were visiting friends in London and then taking the train up.
Mm-hmm.
That'll probably happen first, just because of the way my brain works. But because my husband likes Scotland too. But again, his family's originally from Portugal, so he wants to see what the country looks like.
I was about to ask why Portugal. We just said now. Actually, fun enough, I used to live in Portugal. So I'm originally from Brazil, but I moved to Porto when I was 19 years old.
Oh, wow.
I lived there for 5 years and I moved to London. I've been in London most of my life, but Portugal, it's always in my heart. Porto is the most romantic, beautiful city in the world. It's beautiful.
I've had friends go there and tell me that. That's part of why I want to take time to go and look around.
Great.
I love seeing other places more than anything, and that's one of them.
Yeah, Portugal, the food's the best. Like it's such a small country, but such beautiful. There's so much things to do there, to see. It's amazing. It's great for sure. I'm sure you're gonna enjoy.
Cool, thanks. That's a great recommendation.
Next question. Next question is, what do you think people need to know about each other before they get married?
Oh, that's a good one. So I've been married twice. With the first one, it was almost impossible to know the mental state of what I was dealing with. Having something in common, something that you can just sit back and talk and enjoy, just sitting around being with them, even if you're just not saying a word, you're just sitting there and relaxing. Somebody once said, if you fall asleep, just sitting there with him. Well, that's true. That's a good sign. Um, every relationship goes through its ups and downs, but my second marriage is lasting real good. I've got, I'll be honest, my first one ended just before 25 years, and this one we are hitting 19 in 3 weeks.
Oh my God, that's
yeah.
beautiful. And through those 19 years, what has been the most meaningful lesson you've learned from your husband?
From him, I've learned that he has, though he would probably say he never had any patience, he's had to learn to be tolerant with me. I'm ADHD. I am a bull in a china shop. And when I want something, I make the plan and I go for it. And he's had to learn to adjust to it. But the same thing on the other side. One of the things about my husband that's different is that for me, I didn't know much about U.S. Marines, and he is a Marine.
Wow.
And I have learned more about their camaraderie and brotherhood than I thought I would ever know. So, it's a lot of learning on both parts. We're still learning. He's 73 years old, and I'm still learning from him, and he's still learning from me.
That's beautiful, amazing. How did your path cross, if you can share?
Surprisingly, I was going through my divorce and questioning myself, but I got on a hookup site on a free weekend, and somehow he and I just connected and started talking. And probably about 2 months after we started talking, we finally met each other. And it turns out that he was a contractor for one of the projects I was on. we knew a lot of the same people, and I was not out. It's like, yeah, this is gonna be kind of fun. But since we first met, I think we've never been apart.
Oh, that's so sweet. That's beautiful. I love it. Next question. Let's do it. Okay, so before the next question, as you mentioned that you are a dad, yeah, you've got some kids. So tell me, what's the biggest joy of being a dad?
It's, I'll start back in the beginning. Because of the way that my ex-wife had to have C-section for the births. I was the one that got to be there and bond with my kids the whole time. So there's a different connection that my kids and I had at the very beginning. It was great. We also tag team parented, so I did a lot of the same things. Some families would say, "Oh, that's a mother's job." Well, no, it was a family job. The greatest thing right now, I got grandkids, and I get to spoil them and send them back. It's called payback.
I love it.
And the fact that my son has 2 daughters, and they're both redheads.
Wow.
And being a redhead myself, I know what he's in trouble for, and I plan to make sure of that.
Wow.
Goals in life.
Amazing. And okay, of course, you just mentioned about the joy of being a dad. And what's the biggest joy of being a granddad?
I can send them back. I get to spoil them, and I can send them back and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean to give them a whole case of chocolate candy bars, and they ate them before I got here."
Oh, that's so sweet. I love it. Next question is,
yes,
what is your all-time favorite band and why?
It gets down to what I'm listening to at the time. Right now, I'm a big fan of Teddy Swims. But if I go back in time, Metallica, AC/DC, that type. So I kind of eclectic throughout the whole thing. But yeah, and Teddy Swims is the latest that I listen to pretty much all the time. Love the sound.
Oh, when you think about yourself, when you analyze yourself, what's the biggest joy of being Blair? What do you like the most about being you?
Oh, wow. That's a hard one. I've never really have you ever heard the term redheaded stepchild?
No, actually.
It's a term that people use here, and it's like that's the and it's not nice, but it's a derogatory. It's like, oh, that's a redheaded stepchild. That's, we don't need to deal with him. Well, I always felt that way, but I was a redhead, so I had my self-esteem was very small. As I've gone older, I've come out of my shy shell. I have learned to accept who I am finally. I'd say, biggest thing is I've grown. I've learned a lot about people. I've learned a lot about different cultures. I've learned a lot about where I fit into the world. And I'm still learning. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but hey, somebody likes it. My husband likes it. I don't know if that answers the question, but that's kind of where I'm at, because it's just, I am who I am, and I admit it. I am a bull in a china shop. I'm ADHD. I can be a acquired taste, but I enjoy what I do.
Oh, do you feel like you are living your best life right now?
Yes, I actually do. I live in a rural. Being gay, it's kind in the United States, it's kind of hard to feel like you fit in. But we live in the suburbs of Houston, and we are literally the only gay couple in the community. But everybody here knows us. We've not had any problem this whole time. It's been very unexpected. I expected a lot of problems, but so yeah, I am living my best life. I feel like I'm accepted for who I am. I feel like my husband's accepted. We've got great friends, great neighbors. Yeah, everything is good.
Beautiful. Next question, ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Next question. You like dancing, Blair?
I have 4 left feet. Mother Nature. I was on a cruise from Spain to New York City, and Mother Nature was a little angry, and she tried to get me to learn to cha-cha. It didn't work.
Right. Next question for you is, what's the happiest day in your life so far, and why you consider that?
This last January, I won the election for the title, and it's actually called Emperor, by the way. I won the election, but beyond that, my youngest daughter, was here for it, which was an amazing time. She met a lot of people, outside her normal comfort zone. When you have never been around drag queens, it's a little bit of a shock. And she got the shock, but she fit in well. She made a lot of acquaintances. I was very ecstatic to be able to share that day with her. I'd say up to date, that's probably my best day ever.
Oh my God, that's beautiful. So tell me a little bit about this title, how the opportunity came along.
I've been working with this group for 15 years. I wanted to give back. I was closeted for a long time. I came out at 46. And I didn't fully come out. It's always been on a need-to-know basis. Now at work, they're starting to find out. But I also work for a company, a Fortune 100 company, who the division I work with, the CEO, he's family. So it's acceptable now. It's a different way of thinking. but anyway, when we moved to Houston, I wanted to get involved and started working with the charity organizations. I met some amazing people, and it grew. This organization called Aresis caught my attention. In fact, actually, at the time, the Empress, Marsha Mink Angill is her drag name. Greg Davis is his real name. Became a good friend, and because of Greg and his counterpart JP, I got involved. They enticed me to it, and what it did is it got me out of a shell. Long story long. I work in engineering, but I do not have a degree. I'm grandfathered into what I do. The reason I don't have a degree is I was afraid to get in front of an audience. I refused to take speech. Thanks to getting involved with this, I am up on stage. I have a mic in hand. I perform. I do whatever I have to do. And it's allowed me to evolve into, I give lectures. I am a certified instructor for a specific set of software programs. I give classes all the time. So it opened me up to being able to be in front of a group of people. And so that was the biggest thing. And again, I've been doing it for 15 years. I've helped raise a lot of money. You get to be creative. You get to work with some of the best performers, that I've had the chance to know. For example, I had a request, and again, it's lip sync. I cannot carry a tune, so I'm not going to say that I'm up there doing the real number. But I had a request about 4 years ago to perform with a drag queen by the name of Roxanne Collins. Roxanne Collins is one of the premier Tina Turner impersonators in the United States. And she asked me to perform with her. And it's like, I'm honored. I'm beyond honored. So, again, I get up on stage, I do stuff to, I was told a long time ago, when you're getting money, when you're raising money in the bars and the clubs, 3 things to remember: make them laugh, make them cry, make them go, what the fuck just happened? That one I like. It's actually better. But if you make them cry, which is hard, they'll pour out their wallets on the table. So, you got these 3 things to do. And the most important thing is to make sure people think that you're actually performing the number. So I've learned a lot. I've had a lot of fun. I get to be creative. It's an outlet, stress outlet, fun outlet, all that good stuff.
Beautiful. I love it. I love sometimes how life introduces us to something that it's out of our comfort zone, something that we've always been scared of, and suddenly you find yourself there, as you said, being creative. And I think that's very inspiring, and I love the story. Amazing. Great. 3 questions left. Let's do it.
Okay, cool.
Next question is, what is something you wish you could do every single day?
Travel. I being as ADHD as I am, sitting at home is not, in a spot, on a couch watching, not me. I'm not the most energetic as far as going to the gym every single day. I have to have somebody kick me in to go. But to travel, to be able to go see other parts of the world, repeat the same places I've been. So that's what I would do.
What's the most exotic place have ever been through your life?
Exotic, I'd say Thailand, Bangkok. I was sent there to train for a week to teach a class. And that just by definition of exotic. I've been to Trinidad. I have been to 2 years in Australia, 2 years in the UK. I've been put on a plane with 3 hours notice to go to Abu Dhabi. I've been given 2 days notice to go to Alexandria, Egypt. Have passport. They'll put me on a plane, and they've done it. And like I said, I've seen things that most people in the United States, and I'm pretty confident I can say this, would never see, never understand. Um,
Wow.
I work for a company with 60,000 employees on almost all the continents. We have work everywhere. When you work with groups from everywhere, you have to deal with different cultures, different
Mm-hmm.
personalities. Um, I learned a long time ago, groups I thought were kind of stuffy, turned out to be the funnest ones to hang around.
Yeah.
Um, I've learned a lot about myself, learned how to say, you know what, this is cool. I like meeting the people from these different countries. I like having time to sit back and enjoy what these cultures have to bring.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I think I totally agree with you. I think being around other cultures, other people, I think it's a gift that no one has this opportunity to have. And I think we need to appreciate, be grateful all the time because we've learned a lot. It's just be around different people, that we learn that
Yeah,
for
it
sure.
is. And like I said, I would not have learned it had I not worked for this company, because this company is definitely unique in that aspect. Um, I mean, I'm working with a guy who is Palestinian. I'm working with a guy right now. My management is one's Palestinian, one is from Mexico. Um, one of the engineering managers, I think she's from Venezuela. So we're getting the whole gamut in one little project. So yeah, you have to learn to understand the little nuances that they deal with.
Absolutely. Amazing. Two questions left. Let's
Cool.
do it. Before the next question, you already mentioned about it, but I also made a note here about your cute, uh, addiction. It said addiction.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Tell me when. Tell me, when did you start this fascination about wearing kilts? It's something about, I thought you were Scottish for the first time when I saw your profile.
My
That's
family
what I
is
thought when I
originally
saw
from
your
Scotland.
picture. So tell me the idea behind.
About 10 years ago, I went to the Texas Renaissance Festival, and somehow had a wild hair, and I'm going to buy a kilt. So, it was a little scary. Have you ever worn a kilt?
No, actually, no, but I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, but there's a certain thing. You actually wear what they call regimental.
What do you
No
mean?
underwear. Yeah. I mean, you're actually commando the whole time. Anyway, that's proper, at least as I've been told by quite a few people. So I just
All
say, hey, regimental. Anyway, so I bought this kilt, and to me, it was beautiful. It was black and gray, and I wear a lot of black and gray. So my cousin saw a picture of me in it. She said, I like the kilt, but it's the wrong tartan. I said, okay, Sheila, what's the tartan? She's a former school teacher. Do your
right.
damn research. So I ended up doing a lot of research on the family, the history and stuff. And I found out that my family is actually part of the Stuart clan. So, and there's like a ton of different kilts out of there. And my second kilt was Stuart black. Again, black and gray, right? And I've gotten I think I got 13. I also have utility kilts, which are solid kilts. I have several black. I have a green. I have God, can't think, leather. So I've got a whole bunch of them. Most of them are getting ready to be packed for the weekend. But I'm also known in town to be the one that wears a kilt. When I go out to the clubs and stuff, I'm in kilts of some sort.
Wow.
So it's unique, though I do have, there are other people that I know that do wear them. So, it's not the only person, but apparently I found out on Saturday that a lot of people recognize me not for the beard and the kilts. And I'm going, no incognito. but I have, like I said, 13 of them, and my best
Wow.
one is called Stuart Hunting Old Modern. It is my bucket list kilt. It was the fabric came from, I believe it was Lochcarron in Scotland, and the kilt itself was manufactured here in the US from that fabric. So it ain't cheap. It's very special, and I wear it on formal occasions. It's fun, it's different, and it takes some nerve. You have to, it's like, yeah, you really have to watch how you sit. You can't just cross your legs unless you're flashing people. So yeah, no, I like it. They're very comfortable.
I bet. So
Oh yeah,
you always wear without underwear, always.
yeah. The only way I wear them, but I don't wear them like to work. No, work is slacks because it's got a dress code. But it's usually when I'm out. I'm going to a formal event this weekend, 3 days in Tulsa, and the theme is steampunk, so it's kind of Victorian sci-fi. I have my kilt outfit for that. That's the main one. But the night before, where there's a bar crawl / internal party, I've got my leather kilt for that one. So I've got kilts for those events. That's what I'm wearing for the most part. And in 2 weeks, I go to Denver. I will be wearing my full-on expensive ass kilt, because I mean that's what it's for. So people know me by that, and the beard.
Are you wearing one right now? A kilt or not?
No, I'm not wearing a kilt now.
Damn it! I can't believe you can get for the interview without wearing a kilt.
No, I'm in gym trucks today. It's like, no, this is.
I'm just teasing you.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I had somebody ask me that earlier today too. It's like, no, I am. No. Somebody said, "Where to work when we have the Scottish celebration here?" It's like, we'll see.
Okay, all right. As you are a big, have this connection with kilt, so I would like you to answer the next question with your best Scottish accent. Okay?
Oh, there ain't one.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Oh my God.
Next question is, what's the biggest risk have you ever taken?
Coming out, getting my divorce, and coming out not only to myself but to my family, to my friends. My kids and I have been estranged for that whole time, for most of that time, and about the beginning of the pandemic, I was on an assignment in Ohio, sitting at the hotel, and all of a sudden, the Facebook texts me, and it's my son. I haven't talked to him in 15 years, and I was partly afraid of him not understanding, being bigoted, the whole phobic, the whole thing. Oh no, just the friggin' opposite. My granddaughters call us the granddads. He and my husband started talking. My son is a disabled Army vet. My husband's a Marine. They started talking, and they get along better than my son and I do, actually. But coming out to myself, coming out to, even coming out to work. I worked for a very conservative company, and at the time I was panicked as all get out until the new manager took over, and then it was like, what am I afraid of? If people want to know, I'll tell them. I'm not going to, run out there and, say, look at me. But, they'll see me and my husband at social events, but that was the biggest risk I ever took, being true to myself.
Wow. Saying that, the moments when, did you always, okay, so for you to, did you always knew that, you were gay or not? That's kind of somehow
Yes.
your life, yeah?
Yeah, I did the expected.
Right.
You know, no, I always kind of knew. I kept going, doing the pray the gay away thing. Maybe he'll make me better. And it took me a while to kind of realize, and it took a counselor to tell me, no, you're not having a problem. You know, I thought at one point when I was going through my divorce that I was having a midlife crisis, and I said, I don't want to be trading in a 1959 model for something newer. I don't want to be having a midlife crisis. But he turned to me and said, look, you are, but the difference is you woke up and smelled the coffee. You realized what was going on. You realized what you were dealing with at home and what you were dealing with mentally. So it was a big, big challenge, you know, and both my husband and I we're in the same boat. He and his ex split up, I want to say 15 plus years or 5 years or more before mine and my ex and I did. He's got a daughter and a son. The daughter's just now starting to talk to him. The son and he are currently estranged. You know, I don't know if that's ever going to get fixed. But the reality is there are a lot of people, and I'm finding this out, a lot of people that are like me. You know, we're not gold star, you know, we did the expected. And, you know, honestly, and I've got a lot of friends who, you know, are gold star, as they say, you know, and I will tell them the same thing. You know, it's each person has to do what they feel is right. I would not miss a moment with my kids in that respect. Yeah, I had other issues to deal with, and it was difficult. But honestly, coming out, even though it was later, probably the best thing I ever did for my own mental health.
For sure.
You know, but that's why I got involved with all this other stuff. You know, that I'm doing on the side is because I was fortunate. I have a good job, good industry career that I'm at. A lot of people that I see and deal with aren't as fortunate, and so that's why I do what I do on the side. I feel like it's giving back.
Wow. Thanks for sharing, Blair. I think it's very inspiring what you just said now. And I think, you know, things happen in the right time. People, you know, they find themselves in a part of their lives and they just live in the fullest. And I can see how much you're enjoying right now. I think it's great. It's great to see. Amazing.
Thank you.
Last question, ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Last one. Okay, so before the last question, people watch this interview right now. Maybe they are in a situation like they don't find a way out of coming out. They are, you know, maybe because of society, because of religion, because of something that is holding them back. What would be your best piece of advice for those people right now?
There are people out there that are willing to help you to navigate what you're facing. Some people may not be, you know, especially in different cultures, may not be able to come out, but there are going to be organizations that can talk to them and help them, given the situation, live their best life that they can. Help them find ways to either adapt or to actually come out. You're never alone. There's always people there. You just have to find them that are there for you. You know, I had somebody, we have a friend that we have known for probably close to 20 years, my husband and I. We've considered this person one of our own children. They're younger than us by far, but they're part of our chosen family. We consider them one of our kids. Back September, October of last year, they came to us and said, I don't know how to tell you, but I'm transitioning. We looked at him and said, congratulations. I know that not everybody would do that, but there are those of us that would. I've come to the, and I'm hoping people will ultimately come to the realization, let people live their lives. You know, if you're living your life the way you want to and you're not harming anybody, who gives a rat's ass? Because it's your life. It's not mine. If you're not harming me, I'm happy. And you're not harming yourself, I'm ecstatic. You know, find that resource. They're out there. They're in every single country, pretty much has a resource available for people.
Amazing. I think all of us, regardless, we are here to live our life, to be our truly self. And I think everyone has the right for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think all of us, we are here in the same boat. And in the end of the day, we are all in the same boat. We are always navigating through life. So let's just be kind to each other and let people be themselves, for sure.
That's exactly right.
Amazing. Last question is, what is the best first date have you ever been on?
Okay, literally the best first date I ever was on is that my husband and I had tried to talk and meet each other for probably 2 months, where we met on that site. There was Manhunt. It was a free weekend. Okay, so we started talking, and we started talking off of that. It took a while because as soon as we started talking, I had to go back home for emergency surgery and then came back. I was working away from home at the time. So I had to come back, and finally we got together, and he came over to the house just to talk. You know, and I think we talked for, I'm going to say till midnight that day, just over and over again. And literally, we haven't been apart.
Wow.
That was, you know, I mean, the best first date. It was just unexpected. It was random. You know, it took a while just to meet, but it was well worth it. And we still sit back and go, I can't believe we were on a hookup site. But, you know, hey, how you meet people is how you meet people. I was green. I had no idea where to meet people. You know, I had not been, my toe was in the water. I wasn't even looking for anybody. I was just, you know, trying to see what was out there. So
amazing. Okay, as I can see your eyes shining talking about your husband, he's watching this interview right now, and you have a moment, an opportunity to send him a message. What would you say?
I love you, and I'm here for you forever.
Beautiful. Okay, Blair, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game, okay? I'm going to give away some words, just one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking, okay?
Okay.
One word for money.
Debt.
Family.
Acceptance.
Fear.
Failure.
Love.
Desire.
Life.
To the fullest.
Religion.
I'll tell you about that one a little bit.
It's okay. Yeah, you want to say, or is
I'll tell you what it is. I grew up, I'm what I call myself a recovering Southern Baptist. I grew up in one of the most conservative branches of evangelical, and I'm a recovering. So believe me when I go,
Okay. There's always a story behind.
Well, yeah, you kind of sit back and go, I've had enough of that crap. You know, don't judge me before you start looking in your own mirror.
Totally. One word for sex.
Relief.
Politics.
Deadly.
Friendship.
Family.
Desire.
Need.
Regret.
Constant.
Love it. Success.
I'm trying to think of the right word, but there's not one. It would be close to acceptance.
Okay. Wish.
Dream.
Happiness.
Wanted.
One word for California.
Home.
One word for Houston.
Family.
One word for USA.
Questionable.
And the last one now. Cute. One word.
Oh,
yeah.
God. More?
That's amazing. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your husband for a coffee, and I'm going to ask him, define Blair in one positive and one negative word only, what he would say.
Crazy and compulsive.
Okay. Let's play now Blair in the magic box, and you can ask me a question. Okay, you can ask me a question now, Blair.
Okay, this is a good one. For someone who's going to London for the very first time, what's your favorite place? What would you recommend?
Wow, great question. My God. You know what, Blair? I'm gonna, of course, London. As you know, there is a lot to see. There's a lot. London is a my God, is a melt point that it's just amazing to be here. You know what? I'm gonna take this person to a place that I had a few years ago. I had a lovely lady, a friend of mine. She came. She's been in London for so many times, like in the 80s, in the 90s, and she came here a few years ago, and I took her to Canary Wharf. Canary Wharf is an area in London where it's newish, let's say. Yeah, it's well known for those banks. They have these high buildings, all very modern London. And I took her there, and she was like, my God, I don't feel like in London. And I've been in London so many times, and I never knew about this place. And it's such a beautiful, modern place that I'll take someone there. Of course, besides all the Big Ben, Buckingham Palace, all those places, I'll take this person there as well on their first visit, for them to have an idea about London with different eyes. Because of course, when you think about London, you think about, royal family, you think about Big Ben, the Parliament, the Tower Bridge, all those beautiful places that is a must. You need to see all the time, of course. However, I'll take someone for the first time in this area called Canary Wharf, because it's a beautiful place, very modern, and it's a part of London that people they don't know much about it, and I'll take them just for them to have the contrast of this the impression that people have from London. So yes, I'll take this person to Canary Wharf for sure, and I love there because it's such a great place to be. I used to live there as well, around there, so it's somehow there's a connection with me over there. So yeah, I'll take Canary Wharf for sure.
Cool. Because when we went for the very first time, our friends who live in England met us there the last day, and they took us to what I call the backside of London. We went to the non-tourist stuff that people don't see.
Yeah.
And we fell in love because they showed us the stuff that's not the traditional. And,
totally.
I have an appreciation for it because that you did exactly what my friend Brian and his that time girlfriend did. Stuff that you would never realize.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a great place to be. So next time when you're in London, you take your kilt, you wear your kilt, and I take you to Canary Wharf, okay, with your husband.
All right, cool. I look forward to it.
Did you enjoy the interview, Blair?
Yes, I did.
Thanks again. Thanks for being so kind and being so open as well about your memories in life. I think it's very inspiring to see someone living their best life right now, and I think it's great to see that. So thanks again. And before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
And the best way that I look at it is tomorrow is a new day. Things will change, and eventually they will get better. You live it day by day, realizing that there's got to be something coming that takes away the pain, takes away the angst. Tomorrow is a great day, so be there for it.
Beautiful. Okay.
All right. Hey, thank you. Appreciate this.
Thanks again. Regards to your husband, to your kids, and your family and friends, and keep in touch. It was a pleasure having you on the show. Okay.
It was a pleasure too. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye-bye. See you next time.